How's it going, everybody? Got another video for you today. Today I'm going to be taking a look at why we should basically just open up, at least for outdoor events at this point, because everybody's already going out and the hypocrisy has become so palpable that everybody can see it. And if you can't, this is what this video is about. Please share it and subscribe if you haven't already. But sharing is definitely the best thing you can do to get the word out. Okay? So let's check it out. Alright, everybody, my first video comes from Now This News from about a month ago. Basically, it's an anti-lockdown protest in North Carolina. Let's go ahead and check it out.
I used to teach my kids to respect the police, to respect you guys, to respect first responders. Not anymore, because the only response you have is to your paychecks.
I am afraid of reopening right now.
Let us work! Let us work!
So all these healthcare workers are out here because they don't agree with these people protesting or being out at all. I don't see them out nowadays whatsoever. I don't see them coming against the protests that are happening now at all.
It's dangerous for us, it's dangerous for the healthcare workers, it's dangerous for the immunocompromised, and it's dangerous for North Carolinians.
USA! USA!
I'm here to represent my patients, I'm here to represent my fellow healthcare workers, and I'm here to represent the rest of North Carolina.
I just still feel like it's important for us to continue to shelter in place and practice social distancing because our lives depend on it.
Our lives depend on it, people.
Came out here today to send a very clear message to the legislators that we do not need to reopen NC. We need to keep NC closed, and we need to continue to flatten the curve.
We aren't through it yet. If we were to reopen now, we would see a resurgence. It would overwhelm the healthcare system, and it would put the vulnerable in our communities at risk.
Except we saw absolutely no spike from this. In fact, rates still continued to steadily drop. Not by much, mind you, but still continued to steadily drop. In fact, we're still not above or below the bar that they really wanted us to be below. Yet I don't see any of these healthcare workers protesting the lockdowns that are, or the protests that are going on now. So I'm sorry, but miss me with your Hippocratic bullshit, okay?
Are you concerned, though, that people coming out in protest are going to spread COVID to other people? They're congregating in ways that health experts have said they should not.
No, these are people expressing their views. I see where they are, and I see the way they're working.
And I know everybody in the comment section is going to say, did he say the same thing about George Floyd protest? Actually, he did. In fact, he put together a whole video to post onto Twitter for y'all. And Twitter and Facebook both denied it. So, yeah. He actually did come out in positivity for the George Floyd protests as well. So, miss me with that Hippocratic bullshit, too. Were these reporters asking these questions about the George Floyd protests? No, they were asking them questions about racism instead. See, it's not about race, it's about class. These people don't give a shit about George Floyd. They don't give a shit about your lives. They don't give a shit about my life. They don't give a shit about any of us. They give a shit about what is going to make you people watch their stupid-ass news networks that are lying to you all the time. Let's get on to the next video because it's pissing me off. Alright, everybody, the second video I got for you comes from WXYTV, Detroit. Channel 7 ABC News. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll let them talk for themselves.
As protesters speak out against her actions, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is now firing back, saying there's evidence that those demonstrations may have spread the virus to other parts of the state. 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell spoke to the governor this afternoon. Kim, what is her message?
Her message is that we are making progress in the fight against COVID-19, but that if we aren't careful, we'll take steps backwards. There is no question the COVID-19 crisis is having a negative economic impact on not just families and businesses.
By the
but
way,
the
this was
state.
several weeks ago
This
during
week, state
the
lawmakers
protests,
warned that we're going to see billions of
anti-lockdown
dollars
protests,
less
to be
in sales tax
to be
and
specific.
other tax revenue for the state as people are not out spending. Some warned it could force cuts of 10 to 30% in per pupil funding in schools. Governor Gretchen Whitmer said the situation is dire.
We know it's going to be a big hit to our general fund and our school aid fund, and that's why we need Congress to move quickly.
Protesters in Lansing are sending the message the governor needs to lift restrictions on businesses and gatherings to stop that financial pain. The governor said the problem is that if we see a second wave of COVID-19, the economy will suffer.
COVID-19 is still present in 79 out of 83 of our counties. We are not out of the woods yet.
She's calling on people to persevere and continue social distancing, offering hope. We're trending towards lifting more restrictions soon.
Having a gathering that is 10 or less would be in the next phase, and that's a phase that I'm hopeful we can move into pretty quickly.
Governor
A phase
Gretchen
that they're
Whitmer says to
still,
ensure we do,
well, that they're
take
just now
precautions to
allowing
stop the spread of COVID-19.
after the George
There was
Floyd
a company
protests.
that put a geofence around the Capitol during the first protest and followed where cell phones went home. And it does appear to correlate with where we've seen some COVID activity spread. If you're unhappy and you want to protest,
That's just untrue.
I respect that. But show up with a mask on, stay 6 feet apart from other people, and do not incite violence or make threats of violence.
Spoken from Governor Whitmer of Michigan herself. All right, let's check out the next video, everybody. All right, everybody. I strongly believe that the mentality provided to us by these leaders, such as Governor Whitmer, has basically led to these kind of heavy-handed actions that I'll show you by the NYPD. This is about 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I would say only about 5 days before George Floyd was killed. So let's go ahead and check it out. I saw none of this on the mainstream media back then. Do you know why? The reason is absolutely because they don't want you to watch this kind of thing.
She got a kid with her.
Do you know why? Because it didn't fit their narrative at the time. Their narrative was that COVID was killing people. Not that the police was.
That's too much, man. You're a female, that's too much.
Here we can watch the police, a black NYPD officer, actually using the same tactic that they used to kill George Floyd, to hold down these people out there during the coronavirus that don't have masks on or weren't practicing social distancing. Physically striking him. I did not see this on the news. Do you know why? Once again, because it did not fit their narrative at the time that you're not supposed to be out during coronavirus. All right, now we have a video from Inside Edition on June 2nd. So this is obviously a George Floyd protest at this point.
For those who want to make their voices heard on this very important civil rights issue, the COVID-19 pandemic makes it especially tricky. Is there a way to make your voice heard in a demonstration?
According to them 3 weeks ago,
your health at risk?
No.
Les Trent has some tips.
Now without staying at home.
It's a dilemma now being faced by many Americans. How do you make your voice heard in the age of COVID-19? Look at the mass of humanity at this protest. Even NYPD's highest-ranking uniformed officer, Chief Terrence Monahan, ignored social distancing and hugged a demonstrator without wearing a mask.
I believe we just saw NYPD, slamming a dude to the ground and nearly killing him. What happened? All of a sudden, now they're allowed to be around the protesters? Now they can not socially distance at all? What is this?
Or gloves.
There is absolutely, as you can see, no way to social distance here. They are all crunched in here. You concerned at all about getting close to people out here? I mean, that's the nature of a protest, is that you're all very close.
I mean, they said not to come out for a non-essential reason, and this is an essential reason.
We have some protesters yelling in the face of this police officer right here. The protesters yelling are not wearing masks.
See?
Neither
There's
are the
no
police
social
officers.
distancing there.
This one right here. How do you stay safe during COVID when you're amongst all these people?
Yeah, it is a challenge, but it can be done safely.
Jack Caravanis is a public health expert from NYU.
The key is to, of course, keep your mask on, make sure it's fitted tightly to your face, and if possible, try to get yourself a face shield. I think protecting your eyes as well as your face, as well as your respiratory tract.
All right, sir, where's your face shield? Where's goggles? Where's safety glasses of any kind? And plus, this is not what you're telling people 2-3 weeks ago. You're telling everybody that going outside and not social distancing, they are going to get sick and we will have a second spike in the coronavirus. Well, what happened? Huh? You guys totally changed your mind now that all of a sudden it's about racial injustice? Well, what about all the people that can't work? What about all the people that don't have money? What about all the people who can't pay rent, that are going to end up being homeless? What about all the businesses that are going to shut down? Black and white, by the way. If you saw in some of those videos I showed you earlier at the anti-lockdown protests, there was black and white people there too. So that was not about racial issues, okay? It was about people needed to get back to work, and you wouldn't let them. But now all of a sudden you're saying it's all right for this mass gathering, yet we still can't have a concert, I still can't have a barbecue? It's ridiculous. Let's get to the next video. All right, people. Meanwhile, today in Minneapolis, this video comes to us from TRT World. This is actually happening today.
At the site of where George Floyd lost his life 2 weeks ago, people prayed.
Let's kneel on this concrete.
Preached and played the sounds of their ancestors.
Okay, how is that any different from a restaurant table? In fact, that looks worse. Those guys are pretty big and they're singing, you know, and that kind of singing, if you've never seen it done, it takes like a lot of like actual like, you know, pushing of the lungs, so you're actually pushing your lungs out quite a bit.
As messed up as it is, it's beautiful at the same time. I just want to say this, like, this is a Black Lives Matter movement, and to see so many communities, different types of races, genders, religion, all coming together as one family, that's beautiful.
The scene feels more like a street festival, with food being grilled.
Food being grilled, yet I still can't have, 8 of my friends over. 8 of them? There's thousands of people there and they're all eating the same food. This is ridiculous. Honestly. I can't, I don't even know that many people. I can't even hold an event that big, let alone these guys, all these people are allowed to just go out and have a good time and stuff, It's ridiculous. It's just hypocritical.
Music in the air, and in the exact spot where Floyd died are hundreds of messages, flowers, and onlookers.
Oh, so you mean a spot where everybody's been touching the same object, basically? Just kind of spreading it around. And yeah, obviously people are leaving stuff there, but people are going to be coming by and, coughing on it and stuff. You never know when you basically just expose thousands of people to coronavirus, according to what they were saying 2 weeks ago. But they're not going to say that now. They're not going to say that now. Because you know why? It would piss you people off. And it's all about views for them. They don't give a crap. But I digress. All right, that was the last one that I had for you. I'm just getting sick of the hypocrisy, and I'm getting sick of the news media only playing their narrative, everybody only falling into the narrative, and it causing so much racial divisiveness as well as divisiveness amongst politics. With a real divide in this country is with class. Do these people not realize that when our government shut down this place, shut down our country, they still had jobs. They had lots of money. All these people supporting the protests right now and weren't supporting the protests back then, they have lots of money. They can sit in their multi-million-dollar mansion for multiple months and not have to worry about it. They got servants to go out to the store and expose themselves to coronavirus to get their groceries for them. Anyway, I'm going to keep delivering you guys the real news as best as I can deliver it, as less skewed as I can deliver it. Obviously, all news is biased. Anything you're getting from word of mouth, anything you're getting from a person is, it's going to be biased. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but mass media is playing people. with their narratives. So please share and subscribe, and definitely share, because that'll get the word out better than anything else. All right, I'll talk to you all later.